Aha, you found me in the man cave. I have a question for you. Are you planning on a home improvement project and wondering how to hire a contractor? If you're looking to avoid home renovation mistakes, then listen in. Sadly, we've all heard horror stories about crooked contractors who leave a client's home in shambles or run away with their money. Fortunately, there are steps that you can take to minimize these risks and maximize the success of your project. Today, I'm sharing 7 costly home renovation mistakes to avoid when hiring a contractor. I'm Evelyn Lopes with Realty here in the Caledon, Orangeville, and surrounding areas. And if you'd like to see more videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button for more Caledon area real estate news and advice. Now, let's dive in. A recent survey revealed that 25% of Canadian homeowners have a renovation project planned for the upcoming year. If you're one of them, you know that home improvements can be both thrilling and a little overwhelming. HomeStars, a leading home service platform, reports that the national median renovation budget is around $12,000. So it's clear you're making a significant investment, one that you'll want to protect by ensuring your project's success. Choosing the right contractor is one of the most crucial decisions you'll make. Unfortunately, many homeowners encounter common pitfalls during this process, which can lead to unnecessary stress, financial strain, and, well, disappointing results. Here in Caledon, one of the most common mistakes we see our clients making is skipping the research phase. Now, let me tell you a story about a client of mine, Janice. She was super eager to remodel her kitchen. She had this vision of a bright, modern space where she could entertain friends and cook up a storm. But she made one mistake that almost derailed her dream. She skipped the research phase when hiring a contractor. Janice was in a rush to get started, so she hired the first contractor who seemed available and eager. It's so hard to get them. She didn't take the time to meet with other candidates or really dig into their background. She figured all contractors were pretty much the same, right? Well, not quite. A few weeks into the project, things started to go sideways. The contractor's approach was different from what Janice had imagined, and his pricing kept creeping up and up and up with every new detail. It was clear his skills and his vision weren't a match for what she wanted. By the time she realized it, she had already invested a lot of money and was facing the prospect of either continuing with someone who didn't quite get her vision or starting over with a new contractor. The lesson Janice learned the hard way is don't skip the research phase. Here's what you can do to avoid ending up in a situation like Janice. First, educate yourself. Spend some time reading up or watching YouTube videos about best practices for your project. The more you know, the better questions you can ask. Next, interview multiple contractors. I recommend meeting with at least 3 who specialize in the type of work you need. Each contractor will have a different approach, and it's important to find the one that aligns with your vision. Make sure you ask specific questions about their process and the materials they plan to use. And don't be shy. This is your home and your investment. And finally, seek recommendations. Talk to friends, neighbors, or even your real estate professional. They can all give you trusted referrals. And hey, if you need a list, I'd be happy to share some reliable contracts with you. By taking these steps, you'll be setting yourself up for success, just like Janice eventually did after she found the right contractor. Her kitchen turned out even better than she imagined. So take your time, do the research, and make sure your renovation journey is as smooth and as rewarding as possible. But that's not the only mistake you should avoid when hiring a contractor. Listen in, and I'll share a few more. Now, once you've done your research, interviewed a few contractors, now it's decision time. It might be tempting to go with the lowest bid. Who doesn't want to save some cash, right? But hold on a second. Choosing a contractor based solely on price can actually end up costing you more in the long run. A really low bid may mean the contractor is cutting corners, using cheaper materials, or sneaking in hidden costs that will surprise you later. When you're comparing bids, make sure you're looking at the full picture. Are you comparing similar things? Consider factors like the contractor's experience, their reputation, and the quality of work they're offering. Are they fully licensed and insured? Do they stand by their work with a warranty? These are things that matter. Instead of focusing just on the price, think about the overall value. Ask for a detailed breakdown of what's included in each bid and get it in writing. And if one bid is way lower than the others, be cautious. It might be too good to be true. In the end, investing in a contractor who does quality work is worth it. It might cost a bit more upfront, but it'll save you from headaches and expensive fixes down the road. So choose wisely and make sure you're getting the best value, not just the best price. Another common misstep I see is that homeowners are eager to get to the project. Once they've started and found a contractor that they like, they are ready to move forward. It's easy to trust someone when you've built a good rapport, but hold on, don't skip the step of confirming their credentials and their insurance. Here's why it matters. Hiring an unlicensed or uninsured contractor can lead to some serious problems. You could face safety issues, code violations, or poor workmanship. And if something goes wrong, like someone gets hurt on the job, you might end up paying out of pocket for repairs, legal fees, or even medical bills. That's why it's crucial to verify their licensing and insurance. Make sure they're licensed according to local requirements and have had the right insurance coverage, like general liability and workman's compensation. Also, don't forget to check reviews and call references. This is your chance to see if their past work lives up to your expectations. Ask for photos of completed projects, and if you can, visit a current job site to see their work in action. Taking these steps might take a little extra time, but it's worth it to ensure you're hiring a contractor who's not only trustworthy, but also qualified and covered. Your peace of mind and your home will thank you. Now let's take a moment and talk about agreements. I know, a handshake deal might feel like the friendly, easy way to go, but trust me, it's not worth the risk. Without a written contract, you're setting yourself up for misunderstandings and potential legal headaches. Verbal agreements can be tricky to enforce, and you could end up with confusion over the project's scope, timelines, or costs. Instead, make sure you have a signed contract before any work starts. I know paperwork can be a hassle, but this step is crucial. Take the time to read through everything, ask questions, and don't be afraid to push back on any terms that don't sit right with you. Also, remember to get payment receipts and document any changes or issues that come up during the project. Now here's what to do. Insist on a written contract that covers everything: the scope, the materials, the timeline, payment schedule, warranties, and how to handle any changes. Don't sign anything until you fully understand and agree to all the terms. And once you've made your final payment, get a receipt marked "paid in full" for your records. It might take a little extra effort, but having everything in writing will protect you and help ensure that your project goes smoothly. Now, let's take a moment and talk about payments. One big mistake you want to avoid is paying too much upfront for your renovation project. It might feel like you're securing the contractor's commitment by paying a large deposit, but it can actually leave you vulnerable. If the contractor doesn't complete the work, or worse, disappears, you could be out a lot of money. A good rule of thumb is that upfront deposit should be no more than 10 to 15% of the total project cost. The rest of the payment should be tied to specific milestones in your contract. Here's what to do. Be cautious with contractors who ask for large upfront payments or cash-only deals. That's a red flag. You've got no receipt. Set up a payment schedule that's tied to progress milestones and stick to it. And remember, never pay the full amount until the project is completely finished. You're satisfied with the work and all necessary inspections have been passed. By handling payments this way, you'll protect yourself and make sure that the job gets done and gets done right. Let's dive into something crucial: permits. I know, getting permits can seem like a hassle and maybe even an unnecessary expense, but skipping this step can lead to some serious problems. Here's a story that illustrates just how important permits are. One of my clients, Mark, was doing a major renovation on his home. He insisted that his contractor get all the necessary permits before starting the work. The contractor wasn't thrilled. He said it would slow things down, but Mark stuck to his guns. Sure enough, once the work was underway, the municipal inspectors came by to check everything out each step of the way. The work didn't pass inspection. It turned out that some of the wiring wasn't up to code, but because Mark had insisted on the permits, the contractor was forced to redo the work until it met the standards, or he'd be facing a lawsuit. The permits acted as a check and balance, ensuring the work was done right, and in the end, Mark avoided what could have been a costly and dangerous mistake. Here's why permits are so important. Skipping the permit process might seem like a way to save time and money, but it can lead to fines, legal issues, or even having to tear down the work you've done. Unpermitted work can also compromise the safety and structural integrity of your home. Plus, if you ever want to sell, it can hurt your resale value. Insurance companies often won't cover unpermitted work, so if something goes wrong, you might be on the hook for all of the repairs. And if you live in a condo or a neighborhood with a status and a book of rules and regulations for the condominium corporation, don't forget to check their rules too. You might need prior approval, and skipping this step could lead to fines or delays or issues when you go to sell. So here's what to do. Discuss permits with your contractor before the work begins. Make sure they're on board with getting all the necessary ones. Include the permit process in your contract so it's clear who's responsible for what. And verify that all inspections are completed as the project progresses. And keep copies of all the permits and all the inspection reports for your records. By insisting on permits and following the rules, you're protecting yourself and your home and avoiding a lot of potential headaches down the road. Just ask Mark. Now let's take a moment and talk about what to do if things start to go wrong after your renovation project is already underway. Imagine this. Your contractor seemed perfect during the hiring process, but now that the work has started, you're spotting some red flags. Maybe the quality isn't what you expected, or they're not sticking to the timeline. It's easy to feel trapped, especially if you've already paid a lot or your home is partially demolished. But here's the thing, ignoring these issues can lead to much bigger problems down the road if your contractor isn't addressing major concerns. It's also crucial to take action sooner rather than later. So here's what you should do. First, review your contract. Make sure you understand your rights and what was agreed upon. Next, document everything. Keep detailed records of any issues, dates, descriptions, photos of the subpar work, and any communications with your contract. Then communicate professionally. Set up a meeting to calmly discuss your concerns. Be clear about what your expectations are and what needs to be fixed. Ask for a resolution plan. Get a written plan that outlines how and when the issues will be resolved. This helps ensure everyone is on the same page. And if the contractor isn't cooperating or is dismissive, consider seeking advice from legal professionals. It's better to address these problems head on than to let them escalate. By staying proactive and informed, you can protect your investment and steer the project back on track, even if things get rocky. So with all these tips, here's the bottom line. Hiring the right contractor is key to making your home improvement project a success. By avoiding common mistakes like skipping research, ignoring red flags, or not getting permits, you're setting yourself up for a smoother, more successful renovation. Take the time to thoroughly vet contractors, communicate clearly, and plan carefully. Your home is like your biggest investment, and it deserves the best care and attention. If you are planning on a home improvement project, we can help. First, check out our blog post. There's a link in the caption. If you need help finding a reliable contractor or want to understand how your planned improvements could impact your home's value and resale potential down the road, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help with a free consultation. My name is Evelyn Lopez with the Evelyn Lopez Realty team, and I'm here to help.